I've had an interesting journey with hair. Growing up, I didn't like my hair because it didn't swing and blow in the wind like my, how shall I say, non-cultural sisters did. You know, I would go to camp and go swimming and, wait to do this, and instead my hair was all shrunk up on my head. And there was some shame attached to that because the symbols of beauty were women whose hair was long and flowing and blew in the wind. And I always wanted hair. And in fact, my mother tells me I used to put a towel on my head and flip it and flip it and flip it. You know what's interesting? I've had this hair for years and I've never flipped it once because I just don't like the flip. But you want to be able to do the flip. And with this kind of hair, you can. And so as a little girl, I had, my natural hair. My mother would press and curl as everybody's mama did growing up. And then eventually in high school, I went into a perm. I did a brief detour with a curly afro, rock on with my bad self, right on, right on. And then after the curly afro, I went into a perm, and I stayed in perms for years. And then I transitioned out of perms in the early 80s into braids. I wore braids here and there, but big chunky braids, old school. Love it. And then I got a weave. Oh, I got a weave. And I got a big, huge 80s weave. Not the kind of weaves that y'all are wearing today that are all nice and neat and cute and to the scalp. I'm talking big old hair. And I loved it because that was the look and that was the time and that was the day. And it worked because that was the look and that was the time and that was the day. But then I moved into micro braids, and I really liked the micro braids because it looked like hair, especially on camera. You couldn't quite tell. And the thing is that when you work in this industry and there's constantly people in your hair and in your scalp and putting heat and putting products, it protected my own hair. It kept my own hair healthy. And so I grew out my perm, and I would wear these braids. And you could curl this hair as much as you wanted to because it was human hair, and I could throw it away when I was done. And I got so stuck on the look because here's the real deal. I'm actually really lazy when it comes to my hair. I will spend an hour doing my makeup, but my hair, it better take 10 minutes or I'm done. And the thing about this hair is that it's easy. You wash and go. You wash, you put some mousse on it, and you're out the door. Sometimes I've curled it, and I've done various lengths of various sizes of curl, I would say. Sometimes very tight and sometimes loose and pretty. I love rocking headbands. And sometimes I would do the half up, half down look, but I've pretty much looked the same for the last few years. And by few, I mean since 1991. Now, there was a brief detour where after living single, I took my hair out, but nobody saw it. And I wore little twists all over my head, but nobody saw because I didn't want anybody to see because I didn't like the way it looked. Because when you get used to all this hair and it's blowing in the wind, it's hard to get used to wearing your little coily, curly do. Well, like I said before, after watching you girls really appreciate your hair, it's time for me to appreciate my hair. I know what it looks like up under this. I get my hair braided really often. My hair braider and I, we never do the whole head. We do it in pieces. So sometimes I do the front and sometimes I do the back edge and sometimes we do in here in the middle. But I've never seen my whole head out, nor have I worn my own hair out since maybe 1998. That's a really long time, and I only did that for like a couple of weeks. Like I said, I wore those little twists. So I haven't combed my own hair in years, and it's time. It's time. And with the education that I've gotten from all of you girls on the different products that we use, if I had known that if I moisturized my hair, my natural curls and waves and coils would come out, I might have done this a long time ago. So tonight is the night. I cut all of this out, and tomorrow I'm going to color my hair. By the way, let me say this. I'm joining the natural hair community, but I will not be all the way natural, and don't you judge me because I'm 49 years old and my hair is way too gray. So I'm going to be natural texture, but natural color. I can't do that. I'm not 20 like y'all. I got gray. I got a whole lot of gray. I ain't trying to be curly and gray at the same time. One at a time now. I said I'm making change, but baby steps. Baby steps. I will color this, I will twist this, I will rock a twist out, which I learned from all of you. Ding! And I will be joining the natural hair community, and I'm gonna journal this. I'm gonna tell you about my journey because it's gonna be, I'm sure it's gonna be an interesting journey because it's gonna be all brand new. And the bottom line is that it's all about self-love, and it's all about being really comfortable with who you are, the way you are. And I'm moving into that place in my life where I want to love myself as well as I can. I want to be as healthy as I can. That's going to be another journey I'm about to take. I want to show the world who I really am. I want to be my authentic self. And whenever you've seen me, you see the real me. So you might as well see the whole real me. Kinky and curly and all.
I am not my head.